Ah, yes, the Hyundai Creta. The Creta became so popular in Nepal at one point that in Kathmandu, if you threw a stone, you'd probably hit one. Not kidding. It was introduced back in 2015 as Hyundai's answer to I want an SUV, but I also want to fit in a parking lot. And boy, did it work. See, back then, you either had two choices: go for a tiny hatchback that struggled to climb steep inclines and sometimes even got stuck, or get a big gas guzzling SUV that made your wallet cry. And then enter the Creta. Just the right size, just the right ground clearance, in fact, really good ground clearance, and an engine that really wouldn't give up the moment it saw a steep incline. And then the following generations of Creta saw much more tech, a sunroof, a panoramic sunroof, revisions to bolder, aggressive more designs in the front grille, and people still loved it. But now, Hyundai has decided that it's time for a change. No more petrol, no more diesel, it's electric. Welcome to the Hyundai Creta EV, because the future is here. And this is the all-new Creta EV. And for starters, the engine is gone, but it's replaced by a 42 kilowatt hour or 51 kilowatt hour lithium-ion battery that's made it to a 99 kilowatt motor and produces about 255 newton meters of torque, which takes it from 0 to 100 kilometers an hour in 7.9 seconds. Oh, and it's also got a top speed of 180 kilometers per hour, which I don't think you'll be attempting with your family anytime soon. And if you're curious about range, the ARAI estimates are 390 kilometers and 473 kilometers respectively. But just between you and I, depending on how heavy your foot is, that number is going to change. And because this is the smaller 42 kilowatt hour version, the charger port is right at the front. It's a CCS Type 2 with your AC and DC charger. There are lights illuminating it, so it'll be useful in the dark. And in case an error sign pops up, this will turn yellow or red, and you have a battery status bar on the side. But yeah, 42 kilowatt hours. If you use a 2 kilowatt slow granny charger that this car does come with, it's gonna take 21 hours for a 0 to 100. But luckily, this car can accept up to 11 kilowatts of fast AC charging, which is quite good, and that can reduce charge times to about 4 hours. And the company claims that if you plug it into a 50 kilowatt DC fast charger, it can juice up the car in about just an hour. But there is, according to Hyundai, a future update coming where it will be able to ramp up its DC charging speeds to 100 kilowatts, bringing that down to way less than an hour. And it can not only take in electricity, but this car does come with V2L on its upper trims as well. Looks wise, the front grille on the Creta EV disappeared, while they retained its signature SUV appeal. The electric variant now features a more aerodynamic approach, symbolizing a more electric DNA, and practicality remains unchanged. In fact, this car, in order to incorporate the battery pack underneath, has 10 mm more ground clearance than the ICE to 200 mm on a car that has a wheelbase of 2.6 meters, just like the ICE. So this in fact could probably do underground parkings and rough road patches even better. And as for the boot, that also remains unchanged with the ICE at 433 liters. And you can always have the option of folding down that rear seat in that traditional 60:40 ratio to get even more expansive space. Oh, and you know what a really cool thing about this car is? Because it's now all electric, it actually comes with a very usable 22 liters of trunk space at the front. And this is one of the few EVs in the market that actually comes with a spare wheel. And just letting you know, I personally drive a Hyundai Kona 39 kilowatt hour as my daily driver. So I'm excited to see what this hype is all about and what has improved on the Creta. So let's go driving. All right, seatbelts first. Always be a safe and smart driver. Engage into gear. Let's get driving. Well, this is funny. My physical senses say I'm driving a Creta, but my tactile senses says I'm driving more of a Kona or Ioniq 5. And the view from in front, you can tell you're driving like a aggressive stance SUV car, but a gentle dab of the horn, it almost sounds polite. What? And this car comes with 3 driving modes that can be changed via this toggle here: an eco, normal, and sport. And in sport mode, 255 Newton meters of torque. And oh my god, it can pull, like even on this uphill right now. Yeah, I don't think that's healthy for your heart if you do it too much, let alone your car battery. So I am going to put it back in eco mode. And the great thing about this car is that this is probably Hyundai's 2nd or 3rd generation. It's definitely not its 1st generation of EVs, and they've really worked on and mastered traction with all that torque. There's like very little to no wheel spin on this car as compared to my own daily driver, the Kona, and I think that is phenomenal. As for braking on this car, it comes with 4 disc brakes, so it's more than adequate for more or less your entire city commutes. But the icing on the cake in this car though is the regenerative braking. Let's be for real. It has 4 modes: a 0, which can be toggled via these paddle shifters, where the car just keeps on coasting, and then 1, 2, 3, and 4. And in 4, you activate I-pedal mode. So I'm gonna let my foot off the accelerator now. I'll check if cars are behind me, and I've come to a complete stop. So I'm going to keep it in 2, which I think is the medium and the best. Not too intrusive, but does do the trick. And let's continue. And I think they really did great on suspension in this car, because if you remember my last review of the IC platform, it felt a bit jerky inside. However, here, given that this does have additional weight of that heavy NMC battery underneath, it's still the same setup, technically. McPherson strut at the front and torsion beam at the back, but nice. Like, it's softer, it's stiffer too, like it handles longer bends better. I think they really did an overall great job in fine-tuning everything for the EV. And this time, I don't just have manual adjustment, but a proper electronic 6-way adjustable seat, and you still have that awesome aggressive bonnet to bonnet view outside the driver's seat, which makes for like fantastic city maneuvering, but also really good highway driving. But to be honest, I do have one complaint that I actually felt personally was a downgrade rather than an upgrade. And look down here. These are touch haptic buttons from the physical buttons around the center console and in this area in the ICE. And come on, Hyundai, don't do this to me. I mean, these are still great than looking and trying to find that one setting deep in a menu, toggling things while multitasking city traffic. And while only this car's top variant has ADAS settings and blind spot detection and 360-degree camera, you know what else is a one-time investment to keep you secure and protected on a road? A dash cam that's going to record all the chaos outside. Which brings me to today's sponsor. Have you been noticing the logo on the bottom of the screen here and there? Well, today I am using the Bots Lab V9H, and the great thing about it is that it is a dash cam by DNA, but it's a modular dash cam, sort of like the DJI Action 2, something they can stick around, and you can mount it on places. I have it mounted in the car, of course as a dash cam, but for action shots you can mount it on your backpack, on your scooter handle, you name it. The options are endless, and the great thing about it is that its image quality can be recorded in up to 4K 30 FPS, so you have crystal clear audio and video. So stay safe out there, because let's be honest, you never know what's around the corner. Okay, as for the exteriors on this car, you can tell it's still a Creta, but you can also tell that it's not a traditional looking Creta, rather a electric one, dare I say. And starting at the front, I have the bonnet open. There's a latch here, and immediately you see your 22-liter frunk. On the left hand side are some hydraulic fluids and brake fluids, and on the right hand side you have your 12-volt battery and fuse box. I bet the AC/DC motor converter are all underneath the front, but yeah, that's pretty much it. And right immediately at the front, I love this, is the charger port, CCS type 2 with the battery gauge. The fact that it's right at the front means you can pull directly into the charger and you can plug in without having to meticulously back. You have a Creta badging and active air flaps at the bottom that open on need of AC or maybe engine cooling. And then coming back up, you have LED, DRLs, headlights, and sequential side lights on this. The full LED treatment, by the way, on this car, including on the inside. Yep, you heard that right. The inside lights are usually mostly LED on this. But yeah, big, wide, expansive bonnet, and then you have wipers there. Some of your sensors baked in there, and then your sunroof is open on top. Coming to the side though, beginning with your tires, they're very grippy, thick-walled Goodyear tires of size 215/60 R17s. Really good, nice, thick sidewalls to soak in those bumps and potholes along the way. Really good. And then disc brakes in each wheel, obviously. But coming back up, integrated into your ORVMs are your indicators. This variant, the mid variant I have, does not have a 360-degree camera, but I've been told the top trim does, and that is great. But this one is still electronically adjustable and foldable, all from the inside. You have big, expansive windows, like I have it open, and if you're curious about how wide the door opens, pretty good. Making for good ingress and egress, I suppose. Also, I think that's like quality assuring door thuds, right? Up on top, you have a massive panoramic sunroof. Again, I have it open. Opens up the first half, and then towards the back, you have a shark fin antenna, a C-pillar with a bit of gray metallic outlining that stretches from the front on the top, and then a top-mounted spoiler and stoplight underneath. Also, you have a rear wiper. Great. Thank you, Hyundai. No cost cutting there. At the back is another, of course, LED light bar and tail bar as well. And at the bottom, you have an electric badging on the right and a Creta badging on the left, as well as a large Hyundai badge in the middle. At the bottom, you have more of that pixelated sort of plasticky finishing here with another plastic skid plate. and 1, 2, 3, 4 parking sensors, reflectors, and I bet these 3 lights are your reversing lights. Also, this variant does have a reversing camera though. Okay, so this is now going to be about the interiors. Starting off with the driver's door. Just like the Creta, hard plastics everywhere, all your window and mirror controls, a big bottle holder and more space here. Your headlight angle adjustment, hill descent control, power on, gear lever, indicator, headlight, and then your media controls all on this side, whereas your horn in the middle, and then your ADAS, your cruise control all here. You have your regen levels here, and then your wipers, both front and back. On the left hand side, a 10.25 inch center console and 10.25 inch infotainment screen. I'll have a proper long video on these two in a part 2, so be on the lookout for that. And then your driver's adjustment, there is both tilt and height pull for your steering wheel. As for your driver's seat is a 6-way electronic adjustment, up, down, front, back, and then your recline angles. Oh, and something that I found nifty, I'll use my mic, but I didn't know this, but this was a magnetic mount. Check this out. Quite cool, right? And then moving on to the center console area, very responsive. I really love the sound system on this car. I might get flagged for this, but let's check it out. Deep basses, good mids, great treble. Oh my god, I love it. And then coming down, your HVAC controls, well, where are the buttons now, as I just mentioned. But at least they're haptic touch and they're static, they won't move around. It's a dual zone climate inside, so depending on what you and your occupants want. And then found something cool, which is a, well, it's written wireless charger there. It is wired Apple CarPlay, so now that I've deactivated it, there that goes. Oh, and it is charging my phone. This light turns on. That's cool. I didn't expect that. Then coming down, you have a big space here. Inside is USB-C, 120, 12 volt, 180 watt USB-A. Cool. And then two, it's like a floating center console here. One small bottle holder here, and then an even smaller one here. Probably for coffee to-go cups. Probably more buttons on a full option here. Auto hold, electronic parking brake, and your drive modes. You do have a storage space under your armrest, and it looks like it is cooled in here. Yeah, that's nice. This is by far the only softer touch point though that I've noticed. It's a very fabric seat. I would probably recommend getting a seat cover with a darker color as soon as possible. And then at the front you have a very nice deep glove box. Another compartment here. Probably you could keep your phone, although this is quite slippery. And then this is a nice Creta add-on. Again, hard plastics on that side. Up on top though, on your passenger side, it is a vanity mirror. Your panoramic sunroof controls are all here. I'll keep that closed for now. And LED lights, as I've been told. On your driver's side though, you don't have a vanity mirror nor a grip holder for some reason. Not sure why Hyundai missed that out. And moving to the back though, ingress and egress is very simple. It's my driving height position, and just look at this massive footwell room. Knee room is great. There is a compartment for your things here. Rear occupants get 2 AC vents. Oh, nice quality too. Just like the IC though, this. And 2 USB-C ports here, and a cubby down here. Also a storage holder here. More hard touch. And just like in the ICE, you get a sunshade. I would definitely like this. Also, There is a center armrest with 2 cup holders, but again, on the smaller side. There are 2 ISOFIX points on each side. And well, here is something that I don't understand. Where's the center armrest? There does seem to be a seat belt for your occupant in the middle, but no headrest. What if you have a rear head-on collision? What you're most interested on is the room and space on Occupy back here. As you can see, shoulder room is good, headroom is good. This panoramic sunroof really makes it feel nice and like spacious back here. And if I'm sitting normally, especially on like longer drives, 3 adults can easily fit in back. Alright, let me get this out of the way. I'm really thinking that Hyundai South Asia is really banking on this Creta EV to be its next flagship mid SUV size segment car. And that I don't particularly think they're too keen on bringing the facelift revamped Hyundai Kona. And I really think that they took a particularly strong stance with this car. Like, the more I drive it, the more I believe that this car is just the best of all worlds. And let me explain what I mean by that. They've developed this car in such a way that they've pulled in the best EV tech bits from their other top-end flagships, but they've really not lost any of that wholesome Creta identity that we've all really grown to love. Like, from my personal Kona driving experience, I can attest that the efficiency from that tiny 39 kilowatt hour battery versus the much bigger 42 in this is super efficient. It gives great range. And they've sort of copied it onto this too. And then too, there's Creta's practicality that we just all absolutely love. Like, come on. 190mm ground clearance was already in the ICE platform. They bumped it up 10mm more to a proper 200 with the battery pack being down below, and it's still a 2.6 meter wheelbase car. What? The boot is still great. The passenger space and comfort in the back seat, not just the front, is just as superb. Like, what's there not to like? Again, the best of all worlds, right? Like, you really feel cocooned in comfortable tech and features. But do you really think this car now has what it takes to come as a new flagship model in the Hyundai category that'll cater to the masses? What do you think? Drop a comment down below. This is me for this review, and I'll see you on the next one. Peace.